Hey everyone, it's Stones coming at you with another video recapping everything that I got at yard sales, garage sales, and another recycling event on Saturday. Once again, Thursday, couldn't find any garage sales or yard sales. Friday, I found two, bought from one, and that was my total purchase for the entire weekend at garage sales and yard sales. And then I had a recycling event on Saturday, came home with some pretty good stuff. I'll talk about the details about that in a minute here. And then nothing today, didn't really look, but it's perfect weather, but I didn't really look. But anyways, again, this is really from two things: one garage sale and the electronics recycling event. So Friday went to a garage sale. I've been to this house probably every year for the last 3 to 4 years. Always do well there. Have actually kind of created a relationship with a husband and wife that live there. So this is what I bought for a total of $42. So originally, the first thing that I saw was this big bin of G.I. Joe vehicles. Now this is an original 80s stuff. There's only one in here that's from the 80s. This is actually mid-90s stuff. Inside this bin was also a smaller bin filled with accessories and action figures. I asked the lady, this wasn't priced at all, I asked the lady how much she wanted for this, and she said, oh, I don't know, my husband, didn't price it or whatever, but I'm thinking, he'd take $2 each for what's in there. And then so I started looking, and then he came around, she brought it up, and he said $3 each. And then she said, but I just told him $2 each. And she goes, okay. He's like, okay, that's fine. So then I asked him, how much do you want for the whole bin? And I said, including that small bin that was inside this bin. And he said, well, for the small bin, I'll take $5. I was good with that. I should have just taken that and walked away. But I kind of felt like there was accessories in there that probably belonged to a lot of these vehicles, and I didn't want to separate the two. So I either wanted to take it all or get picky about what's in the bin. So he said, well, I'll take another $25 for the vehicles. And I said, well, even at $3 a piece, I don't think there's any more than 8 vehicles in there. So he did some counting. He said, yeah, you're right. And then he said, well, how about 20? And then we went back and forth. But long story short, I got everything in the bin and the bin of accessories and action figures for 20 total. So not 20 additional and then 5, but 20 total. And it ended up being a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I actually didn't realize what was in the small bin, and I kind of feel bad now, a little bit. So vehicles in here, I haven't looked up everything here. I know this Phantom vehicle. This is from the 80s. This is 1988. Very incomplete. It's basically the shell. It's worth maybe $20 alone, so that's going to pay for the whole bin. At least this part of the purchase. I haven't looked up everything else, but again, very incomplete. Now I do have a bunch of other incomplete vehicles that I bought at another yard sale earlier this summer. I might just put it all together and try to sell everything as one big lot. Some of the other things that I bought was this guy here is from the movie, the Robots movie. If you're not familiar, it's one of the very early DreamWorks movies, I think from the late 2000s, early 2000s, something like that. One of the very first ones. And I recognize the guy. He's actually worth, I paid $2 for him. He's worth at least $30, maybe $35. Here's why I do not feel as bad as I did about what I eventually got for my $42. So I found they had lots and lots of DVDs, and lots of puzzles and games as well. They had, the DVDs were $1 a piece or $2 a piece, I forgot, if they were just single movies. These were sealed brand new. This is the complete season of Friday Night Lights. Now, I got really excited because I looked these up really quick, and I found that season 3, for some reason, was selling for, in use condition, $150 to $200. So I was really excited. Now, I've heard about this before. There are certain TV series where certain seasons are a dime a dozen. The whole season's worth maybe $5, but then there's a certain season, for one reason or another, that ends up being either really rare or in high demand, and it's worth like 75 to 100, 150, $200. I've heard of shows like that, so I thought maybe this was one of those examples. Now, I did more research, and I really don't understand how this person got $150 to $200 for the used copy of season 3, but there's plenty of season 3s listed right now for used condition, $5, $10, something like that. I paid $20 for the complete season, or the complete series sealed. I might be able to get 40 out of it. So that was kind of a bad buy, but it was made up for the rest of it, and that's the small bin that this guy originally wanted to sell to me for $5 alone, if that's what I wanted to buy. And I should have taken it, because this thing was filled. Again, I originally bought it for $5. I saw some of the action figures, but I got it because I thought the accessories for these vehicles were probably in there, and I didn't want to separate the two. Well, I literally just laid everything out to do this video, and look at all the action figures that was in here. Starting off with, these are Generation 1 Transformers, Decepticons, Constructicons, sorry. These are worth, there's 3 of them, they're worth at least 40 bucks a piece. So we're talking $100, $150 just right there alone. A funny story, I actually got these as a kid for an Easter gift, and I broke one of them on the very first day, which then I was not able to do the combiner, so every one of the vehicles transforms into a different part, kind of like Voltron, kind of like Power Rangers. They transform, each one is like an arm, a leg, the body, the head, or whatever, and it transforms into a bigger vehicle or a bigger character that they call a combiner. And I literally broke one of them on the very first day, was so upset, was never ever able to play it as the big Transformer combiner. Then the action figures, just out of control. There's 30 action figures here total. I looked some of these up. Some of them are worth $40, $50 a piece. Average price, 25 bucks a piece, but there's 30 of them. Even at 10 bucks a piece, that's $300. More than likely, $25, $30 a piece. Now you're talking $900 in action figures here. This is insane. Then you have all the accessories, all the weapons, all the, you can part these out on eBay, and I've done this quite often, where people are trying to complete their action figure, their vehicle, and they just need that one missile, that one weapon, that one whatever. And so they go for good money, because those are the first things that get lost when you get these things as a kid. You just don't care, and then the parts get lost. So that's from the yard sale, garage sale, $40 total, $42 total purchased. Came out way ahead on this. I was completely surprised. Wasn't expecting that at all. Then, getting back to the electronics recycling event that was on Saturday. This was at a town that we do twice a year. It's one of the few towns that we do twice a year. And it's also one of the few towns that we still do for 4 hours. Normally, if we repeat a town twice a year, or we've been there in years past and we keep on going back year after year, normally it's only a 3-hour event. This was a 4-hour event, had over 300 cars show up, which is way above average, even for that location. And I was surprised. Quite a bit of stuff came through. Not a ton as far as the ratio, as far as the amount of stuff that I was able to bring home. Starting off, couple iPods here, that's par for the course. Some, I picked these up. I got quite a few last week, if you remember. CD players, CD Walkmans, cassette Walkmans, they do really well. The old vintage headphones, I pair those up with these because that's kind of the look people want. GPS Garmin, those do really well for people who do, they do the geocaching or whatever, that type of stuff. These old mice, these trackball mice do really, really well by Logitech. There's 3 different types. This is the version that I normally get and I see. And those go for $25 to $30, $35. The wireless ones actually go for a lot less money. But this is, of course, is a standard USB cable. These are older ones with the old computer input. So whoever buys them is going to have to get an adapter. But those normally do really well. I've talked about these before. These are the printer heads from the Office Jet Pro, HP Office Jet Pro series printers. They come right out. There's one with still with ink, two of them without ink. Just recently, I kind of discovered that they are better when I get them with ink because they don't dry up. I've sold a couple lately without ink, and it seems like there's an issue drying up. This lamp, I've never seen an old school lamp come through like this. We sometimes get desk lamps and cheaper lights and stuff like this. This is by a designer called Falkenstein, kind of like Frankenstein, but Falkenstein. And this is a Regency lamp. If it works, we're looking at $200. People have just the shade only, just the base only. This is a $200 lamp if it works, and it probably should. I don't know why it shouldn't. Now it takes two bulbs, one for the base so the base lights up, and one for the top that lights up as well. Blow molds. I've never seen blow molds come through, but technically they are electronics. They are very highly collectible. Halloween does better than your other ones like Christmas and Easter and that type of thing. I've never seen these mini pumpkins before. I actually have a really big version of this. And blow molds are highly collectible. They're worth a lot of money. I don't know what these are worth. I'm guessing because of the size, maybe 25, 30 bucks a piece. Cameras galore. Some old film cameras. This Olympus right here, if it works, it doesn't have a lens. Without the lens, probably $75. This Minolta, that's probably looking at another $30, $40 for that. A couple other cameras, probably $20, $15, depending on if it works or not. I talk about video game systems. I talk about how it is not a normal recycling event if I don't get at least one Xbox 360 and one Nintendo Wii, if not more, in other systems. This is the only thing that I got, a PSP. I like PSPs. They're small. This is kind of the PlayStation version of the Game Boy. And they do really well. If it works, I think it's going to be about $75, something like that. At least it comes with the power, the charger. There is a battery. It does have the battery covers. Normally when I see these, the battery's missing, the covers are missing, and so is the charger. So sometimes I have to invest money into these things just to sell them, but I've got everything. Hopefully it works. If it does, it's worth about $75. Got some other knickknacks, some Fitbit, some earbuds that probably aren't going to be worth anything, some walkie-talkies. Those can do well as sell well as, you know, if they work. They can sell. The Motorola's back there are going to do better than this Midland ones. People use them for different reasons, hunting, you know, that type of thing, staying in contact with each other, amusement parks, all sorts of things. But in trade for the video game systems that I didn't get, a lot of music equipment. Two soundboards. This one right here, the lowest priced one, is listed on eBay right now for $400, but I have not seen any evidence of one selling for that price. The person who dropped it off, I asked them, they said it doesn't work. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to get for this because it doesn't work. Maybe $100 if I'm lucky. Fostex, this is a digital board as well. If this works, it's worth about $200 to $250. So that's a good pickup. A Behringer Shark DSP effects, whatever, probably worth $40, something like that. And this Tascam worth about $40 or $50 as well. So there you go. Very good weekend. Things are wrapping down as far as yard sales and garage sales. And then I only have like one more recycling event, and those are done as well. So then from here, it's just going to be thrifting at the Goodwill outlet, other thrift stores. I go into a different rotation when the yard sales, garage sales, and electronic recycling events are over for the year. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you next week.